Hey everybody, I'm Scott Wikle. You're listening to My Kind of Country. Thanks for joining us on a Monday night. It's a great pleasure to welcome this gentleman with me to the show tonight. He's got a brand new album called Selma by Sundown, and all the way from North Carolina. It's a pleasure to have him tonight. We're going to talk to him about his career and play some of the music from that new album for you. This is Andrew Beam. Andrew, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's an honor to have you on the show tonight. I appreciate it very much and very excited for your new album, Selma by Sundown.
Absolutely. It's been a long time in the making. We're glad it's out, and so far, pretty good reviews on it.
Well, that's great to hear. Well, give me, before we talk about the album, give me a little bit of your background. I know you're from North Carolina. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm from Castries, North Carolina, and I went to Clemson University, where I got hired on by the Department of Natural Resources. So I've always played guitar since I was probably 11 years old, and started writing songs in high school. Always did it for fun. Never thought it'd go anywhere, and I always wanted to be a game warden when I was at Clemson. So that was what my main focus was. And even in training, at Clemson I played as well, but from there moving into the law enforcement side of things, even in training, the higher ups were like, "Man, what are you doing? You should go play guitar." And it just took a little while. They sent me to Charleston, South Carolina. So why the state of South Carolina sent the mountain boy to the coast, I'm not quite sure, but it worked out in the end. And I did that for about 3.5 years, started pulling people over, and they recognized me on the boat from playing at venues around the area. And just kind of caught on from there. Enough people got in my head and said, "Man, you need to go do this." And I'm based out of Charleston, South Carolina now, not Nashville, kind of doing things our own way. And so far, pretty good until COVID hit. That's everybody, but we're kind of back on track now, so ready to rock and roll.
So, what really did it for you as far as country music? What drew you in?
I got you. Well, as far as the genre goes, I mean, I'll listen to a little bit of everything, but obviously my accent is pretty distinct. So I grew up playing bluegrass, but as far as the songwriting aspect goes, country is definitely where it gravitated to. And plus, I mean, I'm a huge country fan anyway, and 90s country is really my wheelhouse. And I'll listen to older country, play older country than that as well. I'm a huge Merle Haggard fan. But as far as doing it professionally goes, I really think it was just, I mean, everything happens for a reason. It's always been there. But it was a point in my law enforcement career that everything was going great. Now, I was very good at being a game warden. I love that job, and there's still a big part of me that feels called to do that. But at some point in time, there was a definite merge, and I battled with that for a little bit over, do I stay with the career that's a sure thing, even though it's not that much money, no law enforcement is, unfortunately, or do I go chase this dream? And there was a bunch of events that happened. There was one in particular that I played on the back of a sport fisher, and a couple hours later, somebody had stolen a boat, completely unrelated, but they flipped the boat like 10 feet from where I was playing, and I actually had to come back and lock somebody up for felony BUI like 2 hours after I played on the back of a boat. And that was probably the point in time that I can put my finger on when I said, all right. I remember looking at 2 o'clock in the morning to my left going, that was probably the most fun I ever had in my life. I wanted to do that every single night. And looking to my right going, I've been training for this. This is what I wanted to do, but I think somebody's trying to tell me something. And that entire summer of 2017, it was the most freak boat accident or just you name it, I had to deal with it. And I mean, guys that have been game wardens for 25, 30 years are like, man, I don't even want to cover your call because it got so bad I had a black cloud over me. But on the flip side of that, music was going so well that that's pretty much what made my decision. So in the fall of 2017, I was going to move to Nashville, and I was actually playing in a game warden's backyard for a birthday party. And a good buddy of mine introduced me to my now guitar player and producer, Joe Taylor. And we decided that he's got a studio in Bennett's Point, so we recorded the whole album down here in the low country of South Carolina. And we were rocking and rolling. And again, COVID was kind of a common denominator for everybody, but things are, the wind is back in the sails. I can feel it, and we're rolling to Texas here very shortly.
Hey, that's great. I'm glad to hear it. Well, I know that you wrote or co-wrote all but 2 of the 11 songs on this album.
That's right. Unfortunately, my favorite song on the album, Joe, my producer, wrote. I wish I'd written it. Selma by Sundown, I think, is the number one hit on that. But yeah, that's one thing I like to be involved. And really, I consider myself more of a songwriter than anything else. I mean, I sing and play guitar, and I'm a very odd songwriter. But that's what a lot of people like that story. And I feel like if I haven't directly lived the song I've written, sometimes I have to have more inspiration if I find myself at a stopping point in a song. is concerned.
Sure, absolutely. Well, Selma by Sundown is the title of the album as well, and beamcountry.com is the website. And you can go there and check that out. And of course, all the great places we get our music: Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, all those great places. And your newest single, I believe, is called "You Should See the Other Guy."
You should see the other guy. That's one that we wrote in 2018. Joe called me one day and basically wanted to write Glenn Campbell's "Gentle on My Mind" 20 years later in that song, and we started playing it live to kind of mess around with it, just to see how it hit the audience, and it was pretty apparent that we needed to cut that in the studio. So that was the first single we released, and we actually released a music video for that back in, I believe it was March when it dropped. So everybody check that out on YouTube if you don't mind.
Great. We'll put that information on our Facebook page for you too, folks. And one of the songs I really like on here is "Country Ain't Dead." Tell me about that one.
Well, that was my slogan for a while. I think even before I decided to go full-time. I'll leave it at this. I try to stay positive about everything, but there's a lot of good music out there. In my opinion, a lot of it is not country. And I remember some buddies of mine were watching the CMAs or ACNs one night, and I said, man, you need to go do this. And you play real country, you need to tell them that country is still alive. And I said, well, country ain't dead, that's for sure. And it was always a phrase, kind of a catchphrase I used very early on. And a little while later, another buddy of mine said, you should probably write a song called that. And I've been listening to a bunch of old Kenny Chesney albums back from like 94 and 96. He's got some really great stuff I've never even heard of. And listening to that, I was like, I kind of want to write that honky-tonk bar, boot stomping beat. And that's really where the influence of that song was. And just wanted to write something everybody could relate to that's out in the country beside a bonfire listening to country music.
And you've got a song out here, of course, kind of a play on your own name. It's called "The Beam and Me."
Man, I never would have thought that would have seen a record, much less a studio. I wrote that in 2012 when I was at Clemson, and I'd gone through a breakup, and I just sat down. I think I took a break from studying, and I sat down with my guitar, and I wrote that all the music to it and everything, probably about an hour and a half or so, and I just had this whole, I'm not going to sit here and be down on myself. I'm going to write a kind of an attitude-based song, but I'm going to go out with my buddies, and I always tell people it's a song about drinking, fighting, and other stuff. But we got Budweiser as a big sponsor. I would really love to hook up with Jim Beam at some point in time, because I think we got a catchphrase in that one.
There you go. Absolutely. Well, folks, you can go again. beamcountry.com is the website. The brand new album from Andrew Beam is "Selma by Sundown," and we're going to play some of those great songs for you right now. I want to thank Arista Media for setting us up today. Been working with those fine folks for many years. You're in good hands there, Andrew.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, and shout out to them as well. And for everybody who enjoys traditional country music, country ain't dead. Go check it out under Andrew Beam.
All right. We're going to play that for you right now as we continue with My Kind of Country. Andrew, thanks again for being on the show.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Won't you get on down to my side of town? Drop it in for low, roll the window down, hear radio blaring by a bonfire light. When that three-quarter time walk around comes out tonight, play that song, spin it in my soul. It makes you grab your baby, you two-step out of control. Tried and true, born and bred, or to the K till last call said, 'cause country ain't dead. Here pedal steel, giving you the chill, makes your heart break and your tires squeal. Won't take long to cure the blues when that three-quarter time walk around gets a hold of you. Play that song, of control. Tried and true, born and bred. R to the K till last call, said cause country ain't dead. Jumped off the tracks. Need to shift some gears. Bring it on back. Just one favor I ask of you. Just keep that 3/4 time walking around, just driving on through. Play that song, spin it in my soul. Ambition grab you, baby, 2-step out of control. Tried and true, born and bred. R to the K till last call, said cause country ain't dead. R to the K till last call, said cause country ain't dead. My rig down from Bangor, Maine. It's cold up here in the pouring rain, and there's miles to go. I've got you on my mind. I left you 10 long days ago. I run up north with a heavy load. I've been dead, bobtail in the snow, and I see that old Empire State standing alone like she's lost her mate. I put the hammer down to get back to you. I'll be in Selma by sundown. I've been gone too long. I'll be in Selma by sundown, and back to you by dawn. The whole world rolls out in front of me, and through this windshield I have seen 1,000 things I don't understand. You know best as I can take, nothing's changed since April fell. Hear that diesel sing, such a lonesome tune. A good old melody, something about how you and me are the only thing that ever made sense to me. I'll be in Selma by sundown. I've been gone too long. I'll be in Selma by sundown, and back to you by dawn. I'll be in Selma by sundown. I've been gone too long. Selma by sundown and back to you by dawn.